Hi, this is Dick Dynamo, and you're watching the Three Count Podcast.
I'm in fashion, roll coat.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Into Ring, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. And by now, after our 300th and something episode, season 4, I would hope you say with me, I am your Sherpa, because like your tribal chief, acknowledge me. But like every Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering. So who's entering the ring today? You see this man right here. He's from CZW, MCW, 1CW, DCW. So many W's, like it's unbelievable. But he is the man, the myth, the one you call for when you need someone to be the bad guy of the bad guys. He is Dick Dynamo.
It's a pretty good introduction. I'm a host myself, so I get that. That's a respectful one. I like that. However, you drag me out here in the middle of the day. You see, I'm very pale. I burn very easily. While I'm about to go work out, which is why I'm wearing this. It's cold. It's chilly out here, even though it was just hot the other day. Just to come out here and talk about myself.
Yeah.
Oh, you got my interest. No. I'm as long as I get to talk about myself, I'm all for it. You have my attention. That's a good thing.
Well, for those who don't know, like who you are, who is Dick Dynamo?
Dick Dynamo, if I'm to describe myself, obviously eccentric, right? I get that a lot. I get a lot of descriptors from people. Eccentric, that's one of them. Genius. I don't hear that enough that I am a genius. Eccentric, genius, and a host. I run the show. The show revolves around me. So whatever I want, I'm going to get. However I feel in that very moment. It could change on a dime if I wanted to. Dynamo runs the
show.
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah.
Hey, but how did you get started in the business?
So, straight out of high school, right? I could have done anything with my grades. I was a prodigy, a young prodigy. Could have did anything, and I decided to become a pro wrestler. The educational world wasn't really challenging enough for me. And I'm being dead serious, dude. Like, I could have been a doctor. I could have been a lawyer if I wanted to, in all honesty. But, that's boring. Why am I going to sit in an office all day when I could instead be in a ring, right? Whittled down to just my undergarments, wrestling in front of a audience that's going to appreciate Dick Dynamo.
So, one of my favorite questions to ask people is, what's one of the worst bumps you've taken?
One of the worst bumps that I've taken. I gotta really dig deep for this one. I would say I hate anything to do with a military press coming down. Oh no, that reminds me. I got one from Alec Odin, specifically to the outside of the ring.
Oh no.
I was trying to, stiffen up, keep him from not doing it, but said he just throws me out onto the floor. After, pretty sure he threw out somebody else, but before or after me, I don't know, I can't remember. I was too busy falling to the floor.
Yeah. So it's crazy though, because when you think about the way you develop your character and stuff like that, the way you put things together, you put so much of you personally into your character. Like for me, I tell people, I'm Air Force veteran, intel specialist, the one you call on when you want to get the job done, right? And it's the thing is what's so funny is that obviously I'm wearing my Air Force hat right now, and yes, I was in the Air Force, and in my career while I was in the Air Force, I was an intel specialist, and it's funny how you put everything together and you put so much of work into who you want to be. What were some of the inspirations that made you want to keep evolving into Dick Dynamo?
You see, I spent a long time being in a lot of people's shadows and working alongside people when really it was just me all along that I needed to find, right? Because people can say they know themselves, but they really don't know themselves. I had to dig down deep because Yeah, tick down deep. I needed to find what made Dick tick, right? Because for a while I was Boom Hayden, right? I was Boom Hayden doing that. No, 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 no. That was the shell before I came out of it, right? I had to find exactly who I was, which was there the whole time because I am a character, right? Therefore, I had to go through mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and then, like a baptism, I just washed that all away, start over, and now here I am, Big Dynamo.
It's funny too, because like for me, I was under depression that like your trainer gave you like your first character. So one of the first characters that like I had was a military dude, but he was like very stoic, very like militaristic, like no facial expressions, just kind of like hard ass kind of dude. And I was like, I feel so forced. And a bunch of my friends who like knew me from like outside of the military and then even like in the military, like, dude, like that's not you. You got to find you. And so like I was like, yeah, I was like, and they're like, no, you're a wisecracking dude. Like even when I was in the military, one of my call signs was punches and bunches because I used to hit people with punchline after punchline.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yo, this makes sense. So I told my trainer, I was like, listen, like I just need to try something different. I was like, I just feel like I'm forcing this like serious conversation that's just not there. And he was like, all right, well, cut me a promo the way you do. And I was like, well, and then like
Mm-hmm.
we just go into like this random ass promo where I'm like using like outdated pulp culture references. And I was like, this is very much what like Deadpool would do. And I was like, this is
Mm-hmm.
clearly like the base of where I want to get because a lot of military dudes get like this dark humor and they like utilize that. So I think that's one thing that once you find like that piece of you that you're like, I really want to exploit this and put this out there, like it's crazy to think like how much like the world changes and how you can build around it.
Exactly. I feel that because first thing that people see when they see me is they see, okay, he's got some high energy to him, right? So the first thing that I was given because of that high energy was trailer park trash. I was told to go out in my underwear and a wife beater and Tim's, and well, I had already had my hair all crazy, but basically looking like a crackhead. Going out there and just, I don't want to say being me, just being wild, right?
Right.
Being like I just came out of a trailer park. And obviously, I went 100% into it. However, that was not me. Right? I am not some Neanderthal that just walked out of a trailer park. Right? I have an apartment right now. Right? That is very nice. Has a pool and everything. It's fantastic. So I've never lived that trailer park lifestyle. So that was not me. Yes, I'm a little bit unpredictable sometimes, but like I have a clear direction of what I want to do, where I want to go, right? While I'm not all there, I am all there at the same time. It's a paradox.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy though, because like and people will tell you like the way you want to. The funniest thing, right, is I've talked to like other people uh, about you actually,
really,
because we obviously we work together, shoot job
yeah,
wise. All right, so if you guys know where
big
I'm at,
money.
y'all know where he's at. But the funny thing is that like I've known like a couple of people that you've worked with, right, like JB Anderson and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I hear about you constantly is that you will throw caution to the wind and run at something 100 miles an hour and jump into it. Like you fully commit to those things. And maybe it's not you, and maybe it's not, or maybe it is, and maybe it's not. But definitely, I could see like the difference between like where you were when I first met you at 1CW to where
Mm-hmm.
you are now working over at CZW. Because it's
Yeah,
like I see this dude who's just like very like outlandish, outgoing,
yeah,
like very brash, and I'm like, that's the dude I know from work.
yes. I just needed to put the pieces together in the right spots in order to make it work. And while there was little bits and pieces of everything coming together, it was one grand masterpiece that I was working on that I finally have. And I just can't express how good that feels. Everything fell into place. I knew I needed a name change. I was getting told that don't limit yourself inside of a box. I was told that I was I could do better than what I was doing,
Mm.
and I could not have agreed anymore.
I think that's the thing though, is that like once you find like that name, it just kind of rings with you. You're just kind of like, yeah, I could build something off of this, and that's usually that's where it starts. I mean, like even when I look at movies like Boogie Nights, right,
Yeah.
where you see like Mark Wahlberg is like talking about like the name. He's like, every time I close my eyes, I see this name in purple neon, and it's like so sharp and like cuts glass, and it's just Dick Diggler, and you just see the world build up. So when the way you express about talking about how you became Dick Dynamo, I'm like, yeah, I see this name like and lights like shining so bright. You're like, bruh, like I gotta wear sunglasses. So
Exactly.
It's just funny to see.
I need to get a prescription pair of these because originally I grew up wearing glasses.
Yeah.
But then I went to contacts, and now I'm going back to glasses.
Mm.
It just feels more unnatural.
That's the thing though, is I have contacts. I wear contacts, and like my wife and I were legit just talking about how I was like, I need to get LASIK because I've been wearing contacts since I was like in 5th grade. I'm sorry,
I need to get LASIK
7th grade.
too.
Yeah, it's time to get these eyes fixed. Like these old eyes need to get it together. But yo, before we jump into the 10 count questions, I need to ask you one thing. So you've been in different locker rooms, you've been in different areas, you've been with a lot of different crews, and coincidentally, a bunch of different crews that we both interact with quite frequently. But I need one do and one don't of the locker room.
One do and one don't of the locker room? Ooh, that's a good one. Don't take people don't bring a girlfriend into the locker room. That's one. And a do of the locker room. Let's see. Do tell whoever brought the food, thank you. I love food.
That's important. Like a lot of people, like a lot of promoters, like I don't say a lot of promoters, but some promoters will like bring food and water and stuff like that. Just a thank you is just like what you need. Is the least you can do. I'm just like, damn, that's crazy that like some people would just take that shit for granted and be like, nah, I don't want to do that. It's crazy. But we are gonna get into the best segment of the 3 Count Podcast. It is the 3 Count Podcast, 10 count questions. And Mr. Dynamo, this is how it works. I'm going to ask you 10 questions, rapid fast, and whatever your answer is, that's your answer.
Okay.
All right.
How much time do I have to answer them?
No, you got to go quick.
That quick?
Yeah. Just
quick
whatever.
Dick?
Quick dick.
Okay.
All right. But we're going to put on imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And in the words of my favorite UFC, MMA commentator, Mike Goldberg, here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite movie?
John Wick.
Sonic or Mario?
Sonic.
Favorite cartoon?
I don't know, Total Drama Island, even though it's not.
Favorite? Let's see. PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Favorite actor?
Keanu Reeves.
Let's go. Keanu Reeves is the man. Let's see. Night owl or early bird?
Night owl or the bird?
Night owl or early bird?
Oh, early bird. I'm a night owl. Keep me inside away
it's
from
a
that
Friday
sun.
night. What are you doing?
Working out. That's all I do. Work out, trivia, work.
Favorite podcast?
Oh,
my bad, yo. Just edit me out.
I could say this one.
That's what we do.
I could also say what's the one with Tony Hinchcliffe? I haven't seen in a while.
Oh man, I don't know.
I forget the name of it. I'll just say this one.
Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Me again.
I like that. We'll definitely run that back.
Yes.
Then last but not least, my favorite question asked to every single person that comes on this podcast. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
That's like the greatest word to ever use in the history of words.
Shit, yeah.
So, listen, those are all my heavy questions, and that is definitely the 10 count questions. But the last thing I need from you is to let our viewers and our listeners know where they can find you.
At Dynamo runs the show unless I change it. On Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I'm not trying to get canceled.
Well, there you go. He gave you all of his handles. He gave you where you can find him, and he told you about like how he's not on Twitter. But like every great part of a wrestling match, we gotta take this home because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and like I said, I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you out that mountain called wrestling. And like your favorite Sherpa, you always got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering. So who's entering the ring? You see him right there, just staring at you. Dick Dynamo. So you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately, you know, subscribe to all of our YouTube channels. You're even following us on Spotify. You're even just giving those 5-star process. You're even following us on all of our social media platforms. You're doing all that stuff, telling your friends, telling your enemies, telling your family about our show and how great we are doing or how not great we are doing. And then you're buying our stuff that's on ProWrestlingTees.com or even ForYourWear.com. Doing all that stuff, giving us all the follows, giving us all the loves or the hates, whatever. And then, or you're really just waiting for this episode to end, wait for the outro, and then choosing another episode to listen to. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At ProWrestlingTees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.